let's begin. This Toddcast is a retrospective of January Case 2, Scott Adams. Some would call him a satirist that was adept at self-reflection and improvement. I would call that a fucking lie. So Scott, he made his fame and fortune with a comic strip and cartoon known as Dilbert. And what a fucking Dilbert he is. Dilbert doesn't even sound like a name, it sounds like a form of self-deprecation, which is so ironic. They would tell you that he's the visionary of the Dilbert principle, which states that business entities tend to promote incompetent employees to management in order to minimize their ability to harm productivity. Like, how does that even make sense? Basically, they fail upwards, while those who deserve to rise to the top of the ranks and make the world a better place get put in chains because they're too valuable as workhorses. Bars! Actually, that nonsense was just a ripoff of the Peter principle, but I don't want to digress too much here. Yeah, this is the language of confoundment. Big word alert. Read a book, so you're going to have to keep up. Get your dictionary, you are going to need it today. I would argue that Dilbert is about a corporate geek of the same name that appears to be the saint of reason, navigating through the paradigm of madness known as corporate culture. And secretly, they love the madness. They love it. It guarantees their place on the food chain, including Scott Adams himself. Oh, I said it. It was said. And actually, it's not even a secret. Let's keep it a buck. Most people are just too chicken spit to say it out loud. But Dilbert, as a comic strip, was goodish. I mean, it wasn't classic, but it did clearly define corporate culture in a PG setting. Personally, I often found myself equally amused and extremely annoyed at the same time at how accurately absurd it was, so I never dived deep into it. It's not my kind of humor, to be honest. I don't ever recall any resolutions to any problems. Like, it didn't glorify, but its showcasing of complacent acceptance just got to me. The icons I like don't play that spit. Luke Skywalker, don't play that spit. Bruce Wayne, don't play that spit. Lionel, don't play that spit. Huey Freeman, don't play that spit. Snoopy is my dude. And what y'all need to understand is that I'm an MBA marketing with an e-commerce cert, right? And I'm gonna keep it adult. The amount of illegal money, vajayjay, time, attention, cars, jewelry, status, fame, success, and life that I've sacrificed for this privilege has not even closely yielded the investment that I made. And Dilbert actually gleefully spit that in my face. Like, I'm not tripping about it. I knew what I was getting into, and I've always had an independent and entrepreneurial mindset, so I was never really attached to those things like that. But, and I mean, also, it's not Dilbert's fault. I mean, the game is the game is the game. Let's make that part clear, you know. But I do have a master's degree, and I've done nothing with it. I mean, well, actually, technically, I'm doing it now for myself. And amusingly enough, TBA, Black Authority, however you call it, shout out to him, man. He don't play. But TBA claims that it's because master's degrees are nothing but what they give to white men as an excuse to get priority access to the world's opportunities, and such degrees only work to their benefit. I mean, okay, so he says. I mean, I don't completely agree with that, even though I know that such phenomenon does exist, like, and regularly in our society. I get that. And I've even had some corporate OGs acknowledge to me, I mean, in brutal honesty, that in my hands, a master's degree is nothing but a piece of paper. And that's just the paper. I mean, anybody who knows me knows that I'm not built for corporate jobs, which make up like damn near a monopoly on marketing jobs and opportunities. I mean, like, whether outright employment or outsourcing is involved, unless you do it for yourself, which is what I'm doing right now. Quite frankly, I won't put up with their spit. Oh no, you will not treat me like I'm a Dilbert. Bars. And I need to interject this story real quick, and it will come full circle, trust me. It's not a veering off. But when I was in grad school, I almost committed academic suicide, spazzing out over this homework assignment. But wait, let me explain. Alright, so I don't even remember the name of this class. It was like an online elective that explored the dichotomy and disparities that occur between work life, home life, and trying to discover ways to make them more cohesive. In English, we were exploring ways to stop work life and home life from interfering with each other so that people can become more stable, which will ultimately make them better, more productive workers, right? And the information in the book, which I refuse to name because fuck them, it was mostly just demographic information, demographic data, the American population categorized and sorted out for further study. But that's until you get to the chapter on black people. Then it became a blaxploitation flick, and I mean out of nowhere. I mean, like there was barely any demographic information at all. It was just like a long list of stereotypical urban decay and stories of tragedy and crime and drugs and everything bad. I mean, it was such bullspit. Like they even claim that the only problem that we have as a people is that we're uneducated, and that's the source of all the rest of our issues. And mind you, I have to listen to this spit while I'm getting my education on the highest level. Like they completely ignored every facet of black society except for the negative parts. Like we're truly good for nothing, according to these high educators. And they went into exhaustive detail. Yeah, you're gonna need a dictionary for this one. But about like how we completely suck at getting jobs because all of us are like drug addicted gang members on welfare. And I mean, how can you get a job? Like when you're busy looking for crack and women to hashtag and people to rob and babies to steal, like all that kind of nonsense, blah, 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 blah. Now, I will acknowledge that at the time I was unemployed. After all, I was running my own business back then. Shame on me. I was heated. I mean, heated. And not only because of the presumption, but because 75% of the class was not from the United States. They hear this bullspit, they believe this bullspit, pass judgment on us, and then treat us accordingly. And the class itself was actually quite sympathetic about, what they heard and what they read, but I was on the war path. I made it clear that I was refusing to do the homework assignment because we're supposed to be focusing on people in the workforce, and I dare anybody to say that there are no black workforce demographics to provide. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to say something else too. On principle, the idea that descendants of slaves, people who were forced to work hard on everything, aren't useful enough and so we're incapable of participating in the job market, that's outright diabolical, man. Like the world seriously doesn't know like what we've contributed outside of basic labor. The world would not be what it is without us. But all of that stuff Donald Trump said last year in that speech where he was bragging about like the quote unquote, the Americans invented this, invented that, and all of that, that was almost entirely our people, my people, FBAs, bars. And so these two editors, right, and this black female token, who was the only guest writer in the entire book, right, they can go to hell. You need to understand something like, at this level, missing as little as 2 homework assignments can result in a failing grade and a domino effect that will F you up. I mean, seriously. So what I did instead, though, I actually fact around and I wrote a term paper size response that week, yo. And I made it available on my commercial website for anybody who wanted to see it and what my views were. Because my views were very controversial. I mean, like curse words, racial slurs, gender slurs, I used them all. But I picked those 3 Baywatches apart down to the molecule and provided 10 pages worth of works cited where I got my information from. I even found footage of the token black Baywatch actually admitting, I found this on YouTube, she admitted that she wrote that bullspit and that they strategically put it in the higher education school books because they were trying to get what she called that Obama money. These high institutions and major publishers were pimping the Democratic presidential administration out of these so-called social programs that are supposed to be in place to help people that they disrespectfully stereotyped and called raw data. That's what, oh my God. Anyway, breathe, right? Not to mention that these dumb ASSs, they inserted a chart into this chapter that clearly revealed that the average black and Hispanic male with a master's or doctorate degree actually makes less money than the average black and Hispanic male with a bachelor's degree or the lower degree. And the professor read my paper, he did, and much to my surprise, instead of crucifying me like he could have, he told me that he had never heard such an emotional reaction in his life and that he would organize everything that I said and apply it for future classes. But see, that's how you make the world a better place. You don't always need an army or a lightsaber, to come from planet Krypton or nothing. You do what you can. And that's all you need to do. The rest will work itself out, whether you're in a position to see the results or not. And trust me, cows, I'm not just talking to you on that one. I'm definitely talking to me on that one. But moving forward, man, like I've done some big things, like some national and some even global, that I'll never get credit for. There's a bunch of reasons for this, but my lack of qualifications, skill set, and experience are not on that list. Not even close. And that's what smacks me in the face about this one. When you live that spit that's in Dilbert, like there's really nothing funny about that. Unless you're one of the useless eaters that benefits from it. And that's not most people. And what gets even crazier is that I have a colleague that literally dropped out of junior high school and has done like more marketing and made a ton of money doing it than I ever have, yo. And I'm not mad about it, at all. It just goes to show that the whole get an education is the only way to make it thing is a lie that they sell to the American people to chain the vast majority of us, especially that don't come from money, to basically chain us into debt. And so back to this fucking Dilbert named Scott Adams, right? Scott worked in quote unquote various corporate roles before Dilbert really popped off in the mid 90s, but he had been doing this since 1989. He went from being a bank teller, which actually explains a lot, to a product manager, and in between that, he got robbed at gunpoint like 4 times, and he never got over it. That pussy. I mean, I'm gonna be serious about something, you Christians. The rain falls on the just and unjust alike, but it only matters when it rains on you, right? And oh yeah, let's just say he got killed in one of those robberies, and like, wouldn't he get a free pass to heaven? Like literally the coolest place in the universe, huh? We're gonna get back to that Christian thing in a little bit, but let's go back into his background. So after that, he did a bit at Pac Bell, which is Pacific Bell. It's this ancient phone company before the cell phone thing popped off. And by the time the smoke cleared with Dilbert, he was a regular on about 2,000 papers around the world. Impressive. I can't lie about that. I mean, massive respect for that one, Fucking Dilbert. But anyway, it has a huge fan base. But because it's many, if not most corporate people, the establishment and the utilization of corporations have provided a shortcut to success as a circumvention, like a way to get around the laws that people find to be inconvenient. After all, a corporation exists as an actual person legally, but it's not subject to the same laws as a legal person, and it also makes it a completely psychopathic person. And all this to say that deep down inside, he knew that the Dilbert principle was nothing but a look in the mirror. Oh, let me guess, you think I'm making that up? You think I'm walling? Keyword is psychopathic, so let's go. And to do that, I have to overcome the stigmas, big word alert, read a book, that come when one challenges those who embrace hypocrisy. These are the standards that are enforced in our society. This enforcement is always either justified or outright denied, and there are always negative consequences imposed by the masses as well as the power elite that they serve. Like if you so much as look at them wrong about this nonsense, these contradictions, right? So, number 1, let's get at corporate culture. Dilbert does go out of its way to make fun of corporate culture and the mindset, but it never showcases any accountability for these mindsets. It's made for corporate geeks, by a corporate geek. And the corporate structure has been utilized as the financial arm of elitism, neocolonialism, and has not only gone a long way to make villainy socially acceptable, but molds our society and the world at large in a way like where you haven't really been militarily conquered, but you get conquered through policy enforcement and financial incentivizing those who toe the quote-unquote company line. One of the Fast and Furious goes into that. The one with the Brazilian villain, I don't remember which one. Excuse me. But in other words, they're the go along, get along gang, alright? Obey the higher ups on the layer cake, whether they're right or wrong, usually wrong, and focus on getting yours. Fact the world, fact the consequences. Corporations are a loophole that's used to ignore, abuse, or outright violate society and those within it while being subject to minimal punitive action. Big word alert. Read a book from the law, I mean at best, minimal. It's the ultimate Ponzi scheme when you think about it, but it robs you of your freedom as well as your money and your sanity. And 2, let's touch on race because he outright molested it. He's He's always been in that bull spit because that's the corporate way. Their actions are viscerally stereotypical. All you have to do is look at who's at the top and who's at the bottom of damn near any company. And even the non-white people that rise up the ranks as well, like, you already know. Unless you're retarded or unless you're a liar. And while, you know what I'm saying, they're always vomiting an outright EOE lie, you know, in the same breath. And one day, out of nowhere, his punk ASS dropped a random, unfounded racist attack that was so hard to justify, he got dropped by a spit ton of papers and even his own distributor. But of course, there's an army of white-collar supremacists that will stand up for him in spite of that BS. White-collar power. White-collar power. Whatever. White powder, I should say. White powder. So, quite frankly, he was overreacting to this post about some bullshit about if it's okay to be white, like a poll. I don't even remember where it came from. It doesn't even matter. Like, only to like white powder supremacists that are desperate to like move the goalposts. Less than half of the black people involved in this silly ass poll, who of course represent the entire black race on the planet, because like Ice-T said, to these people we're all one big N-word. They either, agreed, disagreed, or weren't sure about it. A lot of them agreed about this thing, this waste of time and lifespan. But Scott lost his fucking mind. So now black people are a hate group, and white people need to get the hell away from black people. Just get the fuck away. His words, not mine. And it's true, because he's white, and he did say so. The colonizers need to get the fuck away from the colonized, because the colonized are the threat. Oh, Tay! And he swears that he lost his cartoon because he's white and UPN went in a black direction. And actually they did do that for all of 3 or 4 years, using these black platforms to build their platform and then dropping every single last black show once their fan base was secure. Just like they did Dilbert. I'm sure it's because they were white, right? But wait, they were black, and everybody knows that how black UPN is nowadays, right? Right? But, Scott is white, and he did say so. But that's not racist, not at all. Because an army of white powder supremacists said so. And you better recognize. I don't recognize because I'm not weak like that. So you recognize now. But now let's get to point number 3. Religion. Oh yeah, let's go into that. Into God's Debris, which is one of his publications where God blows itself up to see what will happen, which becomes the cause of our universe. Now I ain't gonna front itself. An interesting choice of words. I like that. And then he had this other one called The Religion War, where he specifically called out Christianity and Islam. Not the Jews, though, but of being converts, and that they're at the very least subconsciously aware that their beliefs are bullspit, and that they're basically offering up obedience in exchange for not being subject to damnation and all of that, because they fell for the con. Ooh, we consider how he went out. He went on the record saying that spit, not Dilbert, would be his ultimate legacy. Oh, how the mighty have played themselves. White powder. White powder. Anyway, he was an ASS hoe, quite frankly. He's a fucking Dilbert, to coin a phrase. His restaurant concept failed. I'm sure that was black people's fault too. His mass-produced food product veggie burrito that came in Mexican, Indian, and barbecue failed. I'm not making that up. Mexican flavored, Indian flavored, and barbecue flavored veggie burritos. I'm not doing this one with a straight face. Fact the world. Good thing I got a mask on right now. But I'm sure that all was black people's fault too. His flash game failed. I'm sure that was black people's fault too. Whatever the fat Gizmodo was, oh yeah, it failed. I'm sure that was black people's fault too. His 14-year-old stepson became a junkie and ultimately failed at life at 18. Stepdad of the century there. I'm sure that was black people's faults too. Oh, get mad. Please get mad. Both of his marriages failed. I'm sure that was black people's fault too. Oh, and his health failed. That happens to all of us, eventually. But in his case, I'm sure that black people gave him prostate cancer too. He should have just stayed the fuck away from us. Oh wait, didn't he do that? Because if he didn't, he should have, because everybody knows you can't get cancer if you stay the fuck away from black people, right? So anyway, this fool went and converted to the same Christianity he used to condemn after being denied some cancer pill whose name I forgot and I'm sure works in placebo form. had radiation therapy that paralyzed him from the waist down, and he literally had no options left. I'm sure black people, being the quote-unquote hate group that we are, took his options away and forced him to turn to Jesus. And then he died. And I'm sure that's our fault too. But he wasn't racist, and nobody cares if he was, like a lot of the white powder people say. And I need to make that part crystal clear, because there's an army of white powder supremacists out there, and they said so it's true. But anyway, bye Felicia, you fucking hypocrite. You were just as incompetent as everything that you drew in Dilbert. Dilbert was nothing but a giant mirror, a mirror in the wall for you. You were licking shots at yourself, you fucking Dilbert. I mean, like, seriously, if you paid attention to whatever poison they were putting in your racially classified burritos, wait. A white man from the middle of nowhere upstate New York took it upon himself to make Mexican flavored, Indian flavored, and barbecue flavored burritos. Oh, Tay! But anyway, you should have paid more attention to your diet and what you take in, which can cause cancer quicker than anything, including black people. But nah, instead, pay attention to some silly ass poll from some silly ass. I don't even remember, and I don't even care where it came. Why does anybody know where it came from? Why did anybody care? But that fucking Dilbert did. And he singled out the black part of the poll, because that's completely objective, logical, and sane, right? And let's look at your ultimate legacy. From spitting on God to begging for him to let you in the house. Like, literally hedged his bets. Like, he said out loud, if they're right, then he gets to go to heaven, and if they're wrong, he didn't lose anything. He actually said that. God, you must be a sucker. God, you must be a fucking punk and a huckster, man. Bars. And I mean, that's why I hate religion. Especially Christianity. Honestly, Christianity, at least in this part of the world, is nothing but a cover word for white powder or white supremacy in many cases. Suspected white supremacy. Especially in the black community. I mean, from the good ship Jesus all the way to our current political administration, which has clearly shown there is no hate like Christian love. But as long as you can get that confession / accepting Jesus as your personal Lord and Savior right on time before your death, you can live a life of pure evil and get into heaven for free. Yo, on a fundamental, ideological, ethical, rational, political, spiritual, ecumenical, big word alert, read a book, man, I disagree with that strongly. And I, for one, will put my soul on that. Yeah, this was a pretty emotional one, but you know what? That be that. And remember, kids, don't be a fucking Dilbert in any sense of the word. Hey, you, like, subscribe, follow, share, all that shit now. Peace.